Pastor Keith, bringing you another episode of A Pastor's Palate, where I interviewed Terry Allen, founder and executive director of A Father's Table, about his program and about his brand of hot sauce and how he integrates that, brings cooks over from all over the country on Father's Day and many other occasions. I'll be right back with Terry Allen of A Father's Table. Brother Terry Allen, Father's Table. How did it come about?
It's an evolution.
Okay.
It is something that should happen. It was going to happen with or without me. In 1999, I made a visit out to LA.
Okay.
Because of my background is marketing and PR. So I wanted to know how to bring on public arts programs out to the conference. And in the conference, they had a cooking event there. So I was at the conference. I said, I'm going to go every one of the panels will be there. It'll be a luncheon or a breakfast. So I wanted to go out of the hotel to eat or eat the hotel food. One of the things was the Sunday morning prior to departure, it was being sponsored by a culinary program, the panel. The panel was about destination marketing, sponsored by. And so let me go see what all this about, all these cooks and everything.
Absolutely.
So they had a great breakfast. It turns out it wasn't hotel food, it was cooked by the cooks.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I just rushed to the front of the room at the end and said, I'd like to do this in Dallas. And they told me, oh, we already have a Dallas manager. So you're going to roll out 10 cities at one time, you got a Dallas manager? Okay, well, here's my card, just in case. Anything focusing on fatherhood, being that I was raised in a father's home, and I'm always trying to seek confirmation and connections and seeking that work-life balance that comes from thinking that it should come from a mother-father family.
Right.
And so I wanted to be connected. So I just tossed my card and left, and a little slight disappointment that I wasn't the Dallas person bringing it to Dallas. So that was in February. So I got a call, and of course this event takes place on Father's Day. So I got a call in April. Says, well, our Dallas person, they didn't want to do it. They didn't see the profitability in it. And they said, we want enough you to do it. And I said, no, you talking about 2 months from now? Right. No, it's not the question. I said, I am an information officer for the city of Dallas. I got all kinds of events going on. And so they called back, and then they flew down. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this, but I'll have to do it my way for it to be successful. So I found 5 inner city programs that dealt with American youth, African American youth. And I asked them to let their kids come for free. And I went on the radio, and every time I came off the station, some guy was pulling up to sign up to cook. One guy had cooked in the other cities, and he was outside when I came off the radio station at 5 in the morning. And so we got together, recruited. We started out with 14 cooks, and we served over 640 people. And we thought, well, we made it happen. Got a lot of press, we made donations. But I got the report that we were the second most successful city. But the work I went through to get it done while I'm holding down a full-time job. I said, well, I appreciate the effort. Thank you so much. I did get all these organizations involved.
Plus pushing up in the time.
Great. We were successful. I said, we'll never do this again. So I hope y'all find someone. I'm done.
Okay.
So 19 years later, during the course of time, we brought in celebrities. We built a culinary camp. I've done 2 culinary camps for 2 school districts. And we've had what we call a father-son dinner, where fathers cook a meal with their sons that they've never met before.
Wow.
And most of that happens in the housing project. But we did it in Fort Worth, and we did it in Dallas. 2 years ago, I still wanted to focus on the full development of the whole village. And we don't just cook on Father's Day, but we have a product, we have a brand that carries itself. We do the mentoring camps. We bring in, and I was an entrepreneur at the time. I did it after that. I started my own company because my first client was Dr. Phil. The check I got from him was big enough to say, okay, I'm ready to go. Most of the people I knew were entrepreneurs. So we had entrepreneurs that had limousine services. We had chefs, catering. We had entrepreneurs who were insurance companies, financial services companies. And so that's what we had. We had those people promoting their business while feeding everyone. but I wanted to take it to the next level. I wanted the businesses to be connected by an affinity card. You know, if I use you, I'm getting certain discounts, but you're getting certain revenue because small business owners, the small business is hard to do that. I still wanted to focus on what fathers do and focus on fatherhood and the mentors that be fathers when they're not the children, but they just step in. And the coaches, the principals. So we've always had involvement from the mayor's office. This year was pretty spectacular turning point because we brought in my employer, FedEx, and they embraced it quite well. And at the same time, the mayor of Dallas had a program called Men Against Abuse. And so I had all 150 of my cooks sign a pledge about no spousal abuse, and to reduce that and to intervene in the life of victims of family violence. I took it to the next level. I said, okay, we're going to focus on mentoring. We're going to focus on business partnerships. We're going to focus on job shadowing. We would bring some of our business owners in to work with larger companies, very large Fortune 500 companies, and shadow their jobs and take over part-time jobs they have to grow.
Now the connection to the mayor's office, is that from your...
That's from our city ties. Yeah, we've always been tied to the mayor's office. The mayor's been the honorary chair, each mayor, and one of the mayors, who's a city council, Mayor Pro Tem, the Honorable Dwayne Carey, who's a chair, but he also cooks the greens. Yes, he calls us greens are the baddest greens in America.
Absolutely.
Of course, there's another councilman, Tanel Atkins, who says, "You never asked me to cook. My greens are way better than Dwayne's." I lined him up for that. It becomes a competition. If you look at the YouTube video, Father's Table, it shows where you see the mayor saying, there's an attorney that says, "I've had a friendly 10-year competition with this guy over here for his wing." And so there's a competition there. But in the video that we did with Joy Fatone on my Family Recipe Rocks on the Live Well Network, his wings, Steve's wings are called Heat and Fever. Little heat, little fever. So, and of course, Reginald's wings are called Legal Wings because he's an attorney. They don't have a comparison, but they do try to see who's going to get rid of their wings by the end of the day. Whose table is going to be in.
What's the comparison between the food?
Well, I don't see it because if you observe the My Family Recipe Rocks video, Steve has a sauce, he fries it differently. Reggie has his grill, and he has a family sauce that he won't tell anybody what it is. He puts on it, and then he has Hawaiian and what he calls down home flavor.
Two totally different ends of the
Yeah, and wings, chicken wings is a popular staple. We have several other cooks that do it too. The other one famous thing is jambalaya. That was the winning table, the jambalaya one for the decorations. We have a long-standing sponsor, Maple Leaf Farms. They send us cases of ducks. And we see who wants to cook the ducks with their recipe. So we've had them turn that into, Chef Eric Shelton did the raw meat tasting. And Chef Stewart did the gumbo, duck gumbo, because we want to do a New Orleans style. And then we have the baked duck, and then we have the fried duck. So it comes out pretty good. Maple Leaf has to be quick because they use a Peking duck. My specialty, of course, is peach cobbler and chocolate cake, and that's in the cookbook recipe, chocolate cake.
Tell me about the cookbook.
Well, the cookbook is a compilation of, I think it's over 100 cooks in there from all over the country from the original program, and they all turn in their recipes, but if you notice, each one has a story. My chocolate cake is called funeral cake, but it was what we ate and what was served. And as a young person, that would be the part that I would enjoy about funerals because I knew there would be a funeral cake.
Somebody's got to be that.
Chocolate in the corner. You know, I knew it. And my grandmother would make it. And I could see her make it. I get to taste the icing and everything. She never gave me the recipe. And I was living in New York City working for Sprint. And I was in Manhattan visiting a friend. And my grandmother called and said, we lost a family member and I can't go down. You're going to have to go represent me. And there was hesitation in my voice as you realize it. So the caveat was, if you go, I'll teach you how to make that funeral cake.
Okay.
I said, it didn't take me 2 seconds to say, I'm in. I'm in. Who died? What I got to say. So it was a family member, and when I spoke, my aunt at the funeral came over and says, your grandmother said you should have this. It was 2 slices of funeral cake early before people got back from the service. And so I was 24. She never taught me that recipe, so I was 33.
Incredible.
But that was the caveat to get me.
Yeah, they see.
So one day, over the phone, in a 1.5 hour conversation, she taught me the recipe. And I cooked it in the kitchen while Poppy was